Have you ever wondered where the Vikings got that legendary endurance from? That unbreakable strength to sail icy oceans, endure harsh winters, and always maintain ironclad health? We won't talk about physical strength, we'll talk about the liquid secret that defines their philosophy. An ancient drink is the quintessence of survival and pure vitality. This is water kefir. Today I'll show you how to prepare it properly. Although the geographic origin of this fermentation is in the Caucasus, its vital function is identical to what the Nordic explorers needed: an inexhaustible source of energy and an invincible gut. I'll share with you how these little nodules, which seem magical, eliminate sugar and give you constant energy. And best of all, how does it give you that endurance, internal endurance? We call it the Viking secret because this elixir embodies the philosophy of Nordic endurance. Ancient peoples depended on fermentation to survive, and the strength of water kefir will give you today the same vitality they sought. The Vikings were experts in using fermented foods like skyr, a tangy dairy product, to preserve vitamins and get probiotics. Those extremely long months of sailing during the harsh winters, and water kefir is the liquid equivalent of that need. A self-sustaining drink that transforms plain water into a life-giving source loaded with B vitamins and minerals. For the long journeys they had, their energy had to be constant. The fermentation of kefir metabolizes sugar into organic acids, releasing a drink that doesn't cause glucose spikes like any regular soda, but instead provides a steady fuel that boosts concentration, endurance, and strength. In general, kefir grains or nodules were an invaluable treasure, a living treasure that ensured the health of the community. Just like a good Viking sharing a great bounty, these nodules were shared and given away, allowing health and vitality to multiply. The science, the probiotic that destroys sugar, typicos. The nodules are a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast, and science has identified strains that are excellent for health, such as Lactobacillus kefiri. When we feed these tibicos or these nodules with sugar, the microorganisms, through fermentation, transform it, releasing organic acids, and an army of probiotics, up to 50 strains. Therefore, the sugar we're going to add is for these microorganisms, it's their food. The final product is a drink with a very low sugar content, ideal for regulating glucose and controlling weight. How does it repair and strengthen your gut? By balancing and harmonizing our gut-brain axis, it restores the gut microbiota and strengthens the immune system. It contains tryptophan, which is a precursor of serotonin, and this connects kefir with the reduction of stress and anxiety. So without further ado, let's get to the recipe. For this recipe, we will need sugar, mascavo sugar, and kefir grains. These kefir grains can be found in some health food stores. We can also ask, for example, neighbors in naturalist groups where they often share things like kefir grains or kombucha symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, especially in naturalist households. They are often sold, and sometimes you can also find them on online marketplaces. They are sold in airtight bags with a little bit of liquid. And we will also need a lemon, preferably organic, 2 dates or about 5 or 6 raisins, and a liter of filtered water. We are going to make the recipe in a glass container. It can be a wide-mouthed bottle or a jar. We are going to add the muscovado sugar. It can also be brown sugar or panela. I am going to use a funnel. These are tablespoons. We are going to add 3 to 4 tablespoons. And now we are going to add 1 liter of filtered water, If possible, always filter the water. It shouldn't contain chlorine, which is why tap water isn't always recommended. If you don't have access to other water, use tap water. You can let it sit for 24 hours so the chlorine evaporates, and then you can use it. Now we're going to add the little nodules. This is about 3 tablespoons of nodules. My hands are very clean. Make sure they're heaping. I added a little bit of water. Now when they settle a bit, I'm going to remove a little bit of water. This is a 1 liter bottle exactly. Now we'll add, for example, 2 dates. These are quite big, but it could also be about 5 raisins, 6 raisins or 7. And we're going to add half a lemon. Here we have half a lemon. I cut it into smaller slices to put it in with the peel, and that's why I asked for it to be organic, because we're going to use it with the peel. Done. This is the whole procedure. What we do now is place a piece of gauze, or it can be a clean cotton cloth as long as it's porous. And we're going to pull it apart a little so it has some holes in it. And we put a little rubber band on it. This procedure we've done so far is called the first fermentation, and we're going to let it rest for 24 to 48 minutes. Only 1 or 2 days at room temperature. And after that period passes, what we're going to do is flavor it, which will be its second fermentation. Something important I want to share with you is how to preserve it. If, for example, you have some extra kefir grains left over from the recipe you made. In this case, I had the grains in a little jar. And what I did was strain them, rinse them with water, keep straining them, and remove all the remaining water they had. Then I used them in the recipe, but I had this amount left over, so how do I preserve it for longer? A good way is we add filtered water, and we're going to add a small amount of sugar. The ratio is approximate, 1 tablespoon per liter, so for this amount I'm just going to add a little bit. This way we can store it for about 1 to 3 weeks. We close it very tightly. And this way we take it to the fridge. If we'll use it within a week, we remove it from the fridge and simply wait for it to reach room temperature. We strain them, rinse them, and then move on to make the recipe I just shared with you. If we want to use it within 3 weeks, it's best that after 7 or 8 days, what we do is change them. We're taking the water and sugar out. Strain, rinse, put them back in a clean jar, fill them with water, and add a pinch of sugar. The ratio is 1 tablespoon per liter, and that's how we keep it going. What I want to tell you, even if you don't give me time to show you completely, is that if you later want to add flavor, once the 24 or 48 hours have passed, and the fermentation process is complete. What we're going to do is strain it, we're going to remove the little nodules, we're going to take out the lemon. We can squeeze the lemon a little to get a bit more juice out of it and give it a more lemony, fresher touch. And with that liquid, that's the liquid we're going to use to add flavor. Let's go. The end is precedent in my face. Now it's a lot. Jetty has 1 minute. Elin studilet. Here's how I do it. I usually have frozen fruits like these. So for example, if you are going to use frozen strawberries, for this amount, for 1 liter of kefir, we're going to use about 80 to 120 grams, which is half a cup, 3/4 of a cup of strawberries. Depending on how intense you want the flavor to be, you can blend the fruit and add it whole. It will have pieces of strawberry, or if not, you can also strain it and you'll still get the strawberry flavor. And it will be a refreshing drink without any pieces of fruit. If the strawberries you got aren't very sweet, what you can do is add a teaspoon of honey or sugar and then flavor it. For the carbonation, what you do is put everything, of course, in a bottle, in airtight containers or in bottles that seal very well. And you're going to let it ferment for another 12 to 24 hours, and then that's it. It's ready. It's very easy. The process is very similar to kombucha. If you want to, for example, flavor it with hibiscus flowers or Jamaica flowers, you can use the kombucha example. You make a tea and add it, and it ends up with a delicious flavor, and that's it. That's all, family. Water kefir. It's not just a drink, it's the secret to having the endurance of a 21st century Viking. It's giving your gut the armor so that your energy and your immune system are bulletproof. My name is Danaya Aguilar, and if you would like to deepen your mind, body and spirit connection, I invite you to my other channel, Portal Coherencia. There we will explore neuroplasticity and meditation as fundamental tools for cancer. I'm leaving a direct link here so you can go visit it. And if this video inspired you to start with your water kefir, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Give it a like, a thumbs up, share it with someone who might really enjoy it, who might find it very useful, and leave me ideas on how you would prepare it. Until next time, bye.